In the chat, let's start by putting in a chat a win for the week. Well, actually, you know what? Let's put in the chat who is 10xing right now with their coach. That's what I want to see. So put a 10 in the chat. And if you don't know what that is, stick around and we will talk more about that at the end. But if you are a 10xer and you are losing because we've got the receipts, we want to see. Oh my gosh, look at all these 10s. Love it. Heck yeah, look at this. All these, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so freaking glad you're here. My name is Stephanie Koski. For those of you who don't know, I live in Sarasota, Florida, and I am an accountant and I am a health coach, not planned health coach. Both and, I guess is what they say. I'm married. I have two teenage boys who play hockey, and I started playing in April of 2022. And by that September, I was ready to become a coach. Like I said, we're going to talk 10x here after I share a little. So hang tight if you don't know what that is. And yeah, we're going to go through that. But anyways, there's me. Thank you, Emily. There's my before and after. Actually, in that picture was Christmas time. I had started in April. That was Christmas, and I was down 100 pounds. So there's that. Um, Results not typical, but yes, I had a lot of weight to lose. But my story isn't just about losing weight, really, or coaching, right? It's after layer and layer and layer of challenges and how they shaped me. When I was young, I battled years of anxiety, probably self-diagnosed. I really never had a doctor tell me or went to a doctor because I was also terrified of doctors. My dad used to say I was nervous about being nervous, and he was right. Like, I think I get nervous just about being nervous. I worried about everything, and that was the way I dealt with it was food. The weight piled on year after year. I was always the biggest girl in the room, tugging at I was a cheerleader. I was tugging at my cheerleading uniform, gorging myself after school on PB&Js and pretzels just to numb how I felt. And on the outside, I laughed and I was confident and I smiled and I had friends, but I was like, on the inside, I was so stuck in a food addiction, so stuck. And I used to think addiction only meant drugs or alcohol. Truly, I didn't know that it was food, but for me, it was nachos and it was rum and Diet Coke. The hardest part of my story, though, is my brother. He was a doctor. He was educated. He was respected. He was successful. And in February of 2019, he called me and he said, Steph, I'm an alcoholic. And my response was really simple: quit, go to church, stop drinking. But it wasn't that simple. And he was drinking 3 pints of vodka every day after work. He'd been fighting that battle for 5 years. He finally went to rehab and I flew with him. He opened up about his pain and his struggles and all the reasons behind his drinking because I needed answers, quite frankly. And I was terrified for him, for me, for his wife, and for his kids. And then everything changed. He got sick, he went septic, and he ended up in the hospital. And for 6 weeks, we lived through constant ups and downs. And some days I thought he was turning a corner, and other days I thought today's the day. We're going to lose him. And I drove back and forth from Chicago to Indiana just to be there to sit by his side and to hope and pray for a miracle. But on September 5th, 2019, 6 years ago, right now, my family and I sat at a table with a team of doctors and to made an unbearable decision to let him go. And my 37-year-old brother died that day. I watched him take his last breath. And sometimes I still think maybe he's still there in that hospital. Like I can go back to Chicago and just go up there and he'll still be there and recovering. But that's not the case. And he didn't die directly from alcoholism. At least that's not what was on his chart. But what I do know is that he was extremely overweight and he was an alcoholic, and his body couldn't fight that good fight any longer. And the moment flipped my whole world upside down. Watching him go through that, it taught me sometimes something I'll never forget. We don't get unlimited time. We think we have some day to get healthy, to change. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next Monday. I have to go to my daughter's graduation party. I have to go do this weekend. So we put it off. I did that for years. But the truth is, someday never comes unless you decide it's today. His story ended that day, but mine, it started that day. My turning point came in April of 2022 when I finally reached out to my coach. But back up, I didn't know her. I just went to the website and clicked like the find me a coach button, which maybe many of you have done the same thing. And you hit the jackpot, by the way, because this is like the best team in the world. Um, but that point, I was like terrified of my own health. I was at a weight that scared me. My kids needed their mom, my husband needed his wife, and I needed to not die early. I had spent years numbing my grief and my anxiety with food and alcohol, but that spring I made the choice just to try something different. I had a massive goal in front of me, one that honestly felt impossible. So I broke it down. I got on the scale once, sometimes twice a day, still do, and I let the needle move. One day at a time, 1 pound at a
One
time,
pound at a time,
one
one
feeling at
fueling
a
at a
time.
time. Oh,
There we
there we
are.
are.
And that's how I kept going. And that's how I built the momentum that changed my life. But I didn't just follow this plan, I stayed engaged. I joined every client call. I still do. I plugged into my coach. I showed up even when I didn't feel like it. And little by little, I started learning the habits of health. Not only was my body changing, but like my mind was actually changing for the first time. I wasn't just trying to lose weight, I was creating a whole new way of living. And here's what I learned. Hard looks different for everyone. Sometimes it's choosing your next feeling when everything you want in you is to quit. Sometimes it's measuring your protein when you just don't want to. Sometimes it's eating the feeling you just hate. Sometimes it's the answer the phone when your coach calls and you don't avoid her any longer or him. And sometimes it's the unimaginable, you sitting at a table making a decision you never thought you'd have to make, or watching someone you love battle addiction. The struggle is real, but so is the choice to move forward. Since that day in April of 2022, I am down 227 pounds. And I share that number because it represents every single step I've had to take when I did not want to. And every day I had to keep going instead of numbing. And that's hard. And every choice that moved me forward was a step in the better direction. Here's the truth. How could I hold this back? How could I not try to help save more Daves? This is the gift I prayed for my whole life, to beat my addiction once and for all, and I did not know I was an addict. I thought he was. To finally feel healthy, normal, alive, to tie my shoes without holding my breath, to fit in an airplane seat, to not have to hide in my closet to put my socks on, to wear pants with a button and even button up shirts, and to go on a roller coaster, to sit on the ground, to play with my kids, to show up as a new person. And it's not just I did this, it's I have to share this because there are lives that are on the line. And maybe yours is. The grief is still there, life is still unpredictable, but so am I, stronger, healthier, and living in a way I never thought was possible. So if you're sitting here and you're facing something on your own, just know this. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to take the next step in the right direction. And that's how change happens. That's how I lost 227 pounds. And that's why we're here tonight, to keep taking steps forward. If you join this call every Sunday in hopes of starting on Monday and continue to not start and do the thing, I want to know, what is holding you back? Why join the calls? Just do the thing. Open the box. Eat the next thing. Now, when we talk about 10x, and Emily, I don't know if you want to share that now. Emily is my amazing co-host. Um, this is the system that that you should know about, right? Your coach should have told you. And if I've talked to Kristen Glass prior to this call, and if you have not heard of this plan, please private message Kristen Glass on Facebook and say, my coach has not told me about 10X, because I think this is the best thing we've got right now. So basically, Optavia did a clinical trial, and it is proven now that with a coach, you will lose 10 times more weight, 17 times more lean or 17 times more body fat, and you'll retain 98% more lean muscle mass. And all you have to do is these little steps right here. And the biggest one is holding tight to your coach like a freaking anchor. Like she is your anchor, he or she. Like that is the beauty of the system. So, um, I'm not going to go into like great detail, but that is our new accountability club that we have going on right now. And we've got receipts. I am on text thread with some of my clients who have been stagnant for a long time, who are truly now losing, sending me their weight every day. They are dropping. They are doing what this coaching program was designed to do, was to let us coach you, right? Like that's what we're here for. So, anyways, if you have more questions about that, ask your coach. If your coach has not brought it up to you, or you don't have contact with a coach right now, or whatever the case may be, reach out to one of us or message one of us on Facebook, me or Emily or Kristen Glass, and we will be there to help you. So that is me. Emily, did you want to add anything to all of that, or are we good here? Okay. Any questions in the chat that you have seen? Or raise your hand. Now remember, this is for clients only. If you are a coach, we love you. Do not raise your hand. Please do not.